Dr. Allana DeGrassa here, president of Turning on the Lights Global Institute, and I'm so excited that you're a part of my tribe and community. Today, we're talking about facing our fears. And if you didn't know, every Tuesday, we are going to give you a Spark lesson. Now, we did not go live last week because we were in the midst of the Upgrade My Life and Biz Challenge, but we're back in action today, and I want to say thank you for being a part of my community. Now, one of the things we've never done before is decided we want everyone in our community to comment, to like, to share, to really be as active as possible, because when you show up for yourself, you surprise yourself. And this season, we're getting ready to start a new campaign called Be the Best. I want you to be the best. I want you to feel your best. I want you to smile from a real, genuine place. And the only way you can do that is when you give yourself permission to pause. Now, we've had a lot of discussion on this channel about procrastination, about why you should upgrade your life. I mean, you can easily watch many of the Spark lessons and prior videos of prior conferences and different pop-ups and workshops that we've done. But in 2022 and in 2023, I said to myself, what would be something really fun to do? What would be really exciting to do? And I realized one of the most exciting things to do would be to have all of our leaders activated in our blog posts, activated in our different communities that we have. And so if you have been watching and you want to be a part of our Be the Best campaign and you want to figure out how you can elevate, because one of the fastest ways that you can actually transform your own life is when you take something that you're really good at and decide you're going to show others how to do it. It's amazing. Not only does it pump you up, but it surprises you, because half the time when we're really good at something, it comes so natural to us. We think that everyone understands it. But truly, if we can take a moment and say, hey, how can I tap into the IWBCC community? How can I share my genius with that community? And how can I also receive? And you really are able to be in this place where not only are you on the receiving end, but you're also able to give. You're 9 times more likely to arrive at a new goal when you yourself are activated. And so I want to give you permission to activate. So today we're talking about overcoming our fears. And we just got out of a challenge. And one of the things that people talked about was the fear of things not working, or looking at past failures and thinking that because you may have started a business or because you have to juggle so much, a lot of new entrepreneurs are still working full-time jobs. And you don't want to get to a place where you're just angry because you can't work full-time in your business. What you want to do is you want to look at the job that you presently have as the opportunity, because that job allows you to do other things. So once you are able to get clear around what you want your next to look like, then make that decision to take things one step at a time. And so one thing we know with entrepreneurs is that we can get busy. One of the things in the challenge that we notice is that, it's so easy to be busy doing all of the things to get out there, right? You did all the legal stuff, you did all the course creation, you figured out, that you need to be speaking at different places, but you can also get so busy doing those elements that you're not really centered in your core mission. And so that's why I want to give you this moment to think about how you can really overcome your own obstacle. And maybe it could be just that you are too busy. And sometimes when we can feel like we're productive if we're very busy and our calendar is full, but if we're not getting the end result of either new clients or revenue or that sense of peace because we're operating in a good rhythm, then we're going to constantly feel like we're just kind of like that hamster going around in circles. So one of the parts of that is because we're afraid to stop, because sometimes in the midst of change or trying to scale something, you think, if I stop, then what? But what if you stopped just to observe what you've been doing? And if it hasn't been working for some time, or if things have shifted and what used to work is no longer working, then we need to adapt. Now, one of the things we talked about during the challenge was that we are in the midst of an accelerated digital transformation. I mean, we saw it when the pandemic began, and it's just growing. Now, of course, people are meeting face to face, and now we have hybrid models of people attending things both online and offline. But this digital transformation is just going to continue. And it can get really messy. It can become messy from what should you write to what should you post to how do you even engage on these social platforms. And one of the things we like to do in the Upgrade Challenge is give you bite-sized nuggets of what you can do to quickly implement and take charge of what you are presently doing. So every time we have a Spark lesson, I know I want to give you homework. So it's interesting because a lot of times people will tell me, well, I really want to learn how I can work with you, but I don't have any money to invest, or I'm just starting, so things are really tight. Tap into the Spark lessons. I mean, I remember what it was like to start at zero. I remember what it was like to just be able to go to the library and read books or to go and give service of my time. And so if you're at that place where you know you want to stretch and grow, but you have no money to invest to expand your business, then one of the number one things you can do is show up for yourself. Make a dedicated time so you can research, so you can watch Spark videos, so you can attend free things. There's nothing wrong with going to free events. You can learn a lot. And so today's lesson is all about overcoming fear. And so a lot of times when we're starting something new, we can fear what that transition will look like, because most of the time when we're in the midst of a transition, it's not cookie cutter. It's not like that perfect car going down the road that you see the commercial where the car's going down the road and there's no bumps and it's just this beautiful picturesque view, and this car is just going down just with the sun going down, and it just looks beautiful. Well, that's not how entrepreneurship is. Entrepreneurship has many high points, low points, times when you want to just jump up and scream and say, yay, it's working, and times where you say, oh, what's going on? There are always going to be obstacles. And the question is, how do you persist through those challenging times? How do you persist when it does feel scary and you feel like you don't know what's going on? So I'm going to start by reading page 67 in my book, Moving from Fear to Transition. And it says, fear is real. Thousands of individuals experience fear of going outside, speaking in a group, or taking a new direction in life. The unknown can wreak havoc on a person's mind. The problem is even more pronounced if someone has experienced major losses. Fear experts contended that the best way to overcome fear is to face it one step at a time. What do you fear? When did you first think of it? Did the fear start with you having a bad experience in the past? And that's just the opening to this chapter called Moving from Fear to Transition. It's day 18 in this 40-day experience. And I go on to talk about how I give this workshop in Atlanta, Georgia, and there's this woman who comes in with her caretaker, and she says, I have been locked in my home for 2 years because she had gone through a major loss and she just was depressed and just wasn't able to get out of her home, but yet she was able to take a little step and have her caretaker drive her to the library where I was having that meeting. So I want you to know it's normal to have fear and to feel afraid when you're about to either embark on something new or when you've been just kind of staying stuck because you're just so anxious about making a wrong decision that you don't make any decision. But one of the best things you can do, especially when you're trying to do something different and you're really trying to make monumental change, is to start very small. Very small. I mean, I remember when I started the company, I remember the first goal was just to wake up and take my business idea seriously. And then to say to myself, okay, who is one person that I can call or reach out to today to help or to serve? Who are the individuals that I need to speak with that may also be influencers and have a special community or group that I might be able to go and speak to. So it started with very small steps. And one thing I always advise all my clients is that no matter what the opportunity is when it comes your way, take it seriously. Treat it well as if it's the biggest opportunity you ever had. Because truly, people will draw to that and they remember that and they're grateful for it when they can tell that you've taken your time to serve them with excellence. Not only that, but one of the things you can do to face your fear is to look at yourself in the mirror. Introduce your own self in the mirror. Call yourself like, hello, my name is so and so, and I am, and go for it. Because if you're not comfortable hearing your own introduction and you're not comfortable with sharing what you do so well with others, then how do you think other people feel? So one of the things you can quickly do is do a self-assessment to see, well, I recorded myself. What did that sound like? What do I need to work on? Did I feel like I gave a confident introduction to who I am? Do I need to clear that up? Do I not have confidence in that area and need to work on it? So the first thing you can do to overcome fear is to face it by looking at what you are presently doing. In this case, I'm talking about being comfortable introducing yourself, but it could also be that you have your hands in a lot of different things and you just need to get to a place where you decide, I'm going to streamline my activities. Because sometimes we feel afraid that nothing will happen, so we end up signing up to a lot of things. But the best thing you can do again is pull back. Look at really what is the outcome you want to have happen this time next year. And once you can look at that, you can reverse engineer some of the steps you need to make. Success does have clues. So one thing I will highly recommend is for you to really write out, what is it that you truly fear? What is it that you fear? And what would you like to see different in your life that's just not showing up right now? Would you like better relationships? Would you like more opportunities to share your message? Would you like to feel more productive? Or would you like to really feel confident that when you talk about your product or your service, that people want to be drawn to it and they want to partake in it with you? So I want to encourage you today to think about the thing or the elephant in the room, and that is fear. Fear of transition. Now, lastly, some people actually do have a fear of success. That was one of my issues. I didn't have a fear of failure. I had a fear of success. Like, I was like, what am I going to do if I'm super happy and super successful and have written these books? What does that mean? Because for so long, I wanted everything to be perfect. I couldn't imagine actually just settling in the fact that, yes, Dr. Allana, you have these gifts, you have these tools, you've written these books, and people want to read what you have to say. But sometimes we just get stuck in our own way. So today, I just want to encourage you to know that fear is something that many of us contend with. Imposter, oh yes, many entrepreneurs report that they never feel like they add up to what they're actually doing. But truly, if you get back to your why, if you put a photo of those you want to help on your computer, or maybe a client that you served and they're like, oh my gosh, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be where I'm at. If you're able to do that, it kind of brings you back to your focus and reminds you of why you're doing what you're doing. Well, I want to invite you to sign up to the upcoming challenge we have in October. We are doing it in October, so make sure you click on this link below. It's absolutely free, a 4-day accelerator, partly on the weekend and partly in the beginning of that week. We'd love to see you. And guess what? We've chosen the time in the evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so that those of you in all the other time zones can tap in. Well, that's it for me. I'm so glad that you're a part of this community. Like, comment, and share, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.